24 hours in a day, 8 hours spent sleeping, 16 hours, 8 hours at work, 8 hours, 1 hour traveling to work, 7 hours, 2 hours for breakfast, lunch and dinner, 5 hours, 2 hours with family and partners, 3 hours, 1 hour gym, 2 hours, then what? Most of us want to switch off at this point, curl up and eat some chocolate, watch some Netflix and chill. I don't blame you, life's not easy, and yes, you need to recharge, but if you don't use your time to your advantage, your side hustles are never going to take off. Now, I know that sounds like a harsh reality, but to make things work, you need to be dead certain you're about this life. It will mean shifting things around and sacrificing time in your day for future gains. Balancing time so you don't burn out is like an art, but today I'm going to run you through some of the strategies that I use to juggle my time whilst building a side hustle business around a 9-to-5 as a marketing director of a multi-million pound hospitality business. First though, I just want to be super clear, this video is about building a side hustle business. It's definitely not about how to find time to do a few online surveys and a mystery shop once a week. This is for people interested in building a business from the ground up, and they've got a job while they're doing it, and they want to know how on earth can I actually fit this all in without breaking myself. Just to be clear though, this doesn't mean that a said business has to go on to replace your 9-to-5, nothing of the sort. Plenty of side hustle businesses stay side hustle businesses, and that means that they work alongside your 9-to-5, but the one thing that they all need is time, and that's the game we're playing every second that we're alive. So we start with understanding the why. For me, this is the most important thing to have 100% down before you carry on doing any more work on your side hustles. Without a why, you're essentially just chasing the cash, and whilst that might work for now, when the going gets tough, which it will, you're highly likely to throw in the towel and you're going to hate yourself for it, and that's not what we want. Now, a why isn't something material. That's a goal. You can feel and touch that goal, and usually it has a monetary value or some sort of milestone. A why is more of a feeling. When you say, I want more time to spend with my kids, that's a why, yes, but the actual why in there is time freedom. It's not the kids, it's the freedom to choose what you want to do with your time. The kids are the byproduct of that. So, to get your why in this case, you're going to need to build a business and earn a lot of money somewhere so you can create more time for your kids. It's a noble goal, but not the why. So think about that. Now, don't just take that one on and say, yeah, for me, it's time freedom. Really spend some time understanding what's important to you, what are the feelings that you want to create, and then what are the things you need to do to build around that to get to your why. Those become your goals. The reason why we do this is because when you hit that wall, when you don't want to get up 2 hours early anymore, when you haven't made any money for the first 3 months, your why is what brings you back home. That's why it needs to be super powerful, otherwise you will end up quitting. If you want to work on something you truly love doing, then I've just launched the Couch to 5K, which is a passive income starter kit. It's everything you need to launch your own digital product business in a topic that you're super passionate about and go from 0 to 5K in revenue in under 100 days. And we do all of this with 60 minutes work or less a day. It's no joke. I made $3.5K, $4,000 last month. Link in the description below. So next up is time and energy. Now we've got our why, we need to understand our timeline. Everyone is going to look different, and that's totally fine. Some of you are single, some of you have got no commitments, others are dinks. That's dual income, no kids. Learned that yesterday. Others are totally screwed with 2 kids and a mortgage. I joke, I love kids, but seriously, everyone's different. So to work on this, we're going to need to understand first what we're looking to achieve. We do this with a time evaluation, and we reverse engineer that process. So this allows us to understand exactly what time is required to reach that lofty goal that we've got, and then we look at our own lives and put them together. So we assess the playing field, and we attribute time out of a standard day. So what am I looking at here? I don't, it's not going to be the one where you've got to go to golf, you've got fantasy football league, there's mates' birthdays on, you get the boring Monday, and that's what we evaluate, because that's where we can kind of say that's what most days are going to look like. So we start with the goal. Let's just say, for argument's sake, you are going for a job replacement income. That's the big goal. Nice. So for argument's sake, in this one, it's $3,000 a month. So we need to build something that's $3,000 a month. That's a big chunk of time, whatever way you look at it. But let's say you build a product which is £100 profit. So you need to sell 30 of those a month. That means you need to build an audience. And let's say your audience building takes around 10 hours a week. Then you've got to make the product, etc., etc. You need to go through this process and work it right back so everything has a time frame and an actual time attached to it. You want to start a YouTube channel, for example. It's going to take me 2 hours per day. Okay, that's 14 hours per week. Fine. Have I got that time? Next up is creating more time. Then you need to take your own day, plan it out, and work out what you want to sacrifice to ensure that you can keep up with these goals. You want to find a sweet spot, something that feels doable versus completely murdering yourself and burning yourself out after 3 weeks. For example, I wanted to build up the Gains to be the #1 personal finance education brand in the UK. To do that, I'm going to have to work a full day alongside a working day, so 16-hour days. I had to sacrifice sleep, time with friends, family, the gym, and that's what I did for 18 months. I burnt out, but I got there. I replaced my income and went full-time last year. That though is the extreme. Do I recommend doing that? Absolutely not. Would I do it again? I mean, if I wanted it enough, yeah, I probably would, but not any time in the next 5 years, no thank you. Now, the less time you spend doing the things that bring you closer to the goals, the longer they will take. That's something you've got to be prepared for. Thinking you're going to go from 0 to 3K in a matter of weeks or even months in a lot of cases is pretty unheard of unless you're selling £3,000 products, then you only need one sale, but you get my point. It doesn't happen overnight. Creating more time often comes down to planning. Where can you sneak time in distraction free? Is it early morning? I used to wake up at 5 and I'd have to wait 8:30 until my missus woke up. 3.5 hours completely undistracted. You can do a lot of damage with 3.5 hours of solid work, trust me. So moving on to maximizing your time. When you're working, you need to get into your zone as quickly as possible because you might not have a lot of time. Now, I used to absolutely suck at this, by the way, and I used to have like 10 different tasks going on and my mind would just wander, and actually I don't feel like I would ever get anything done. But the moment I sat down, started making lists, journaling, and setting myself deadlines, my productivity went through the roof. Some days I was able to get 1 or 2 hours in, so I knew that I needed to smash through the hardest task. For me, I wanted to make sure that I actually got something good done that day. If it was a blog post or a podcast recording, I had to get it done. And then around that, there probably were a load of smaller tasks on my list that I could do in 30 minutes or less. One big one and a few smalls. Nice. I'm no productivity master. And if you want to head over to Ali Abdal's channel, you'll find loads of stuff on that. But really, time is money, my friends, and just find what works for you. Remember, if time isn't something that you've got lots of, then I've just launched the Couch to 5 Grand, which is a passive income starter kit showing you how you can go from 0 to 5K in revenue by selling digital products in a niche that you are super passionate about, all with 60 minutes work a day or less. There is a link in the description. Next up is don't do it alone. Once your business is making some money, you could look at bringing on some help to assist you with the smaller tasks, freeing up your time to focus on the needle moving big boy ones. Or you could bring someone in just to launch, a new feature or a social media channel. Palm off the tasks you don't enjoy so you can do more and even enjoying what you do like doing. Admin gone, creativity here. Just an idea here, but think about that type of thing. Basically, you do it to take the pressure off you. And as a solo entrepreneur, it can be pretty damn hard and lonely sometimes. So having help will kind of make it a lot easier. It doesn't have to be a full-time member of staff either. It could be freelancers that only do a little project or a couple of hours here a week. Now, I absolutely love freelancers because you get high-level expertise without the management responsibilities required when someone comes on full time. And you can find excellent people on places like Fiverr and Upwork, plus I've had virtual assistants from countries like the Philippines and South Africa. These are absolute game changers, by the way, and massively help push my business on. Next up is cut out the toxic and time-draining activities. For me, this goes without saying, but you can't expect to follow the same pathways and get different results. You need to make drastic changes to make success. For me, this meant cutting out a circle of my friends at the knees, keeping only the ones that were on a wavelength and understood the mission. That sounds harsh, but so many of my relationships were based around boozing. And when you took that away, there was kind of nothing of value there anymore to me. So they had to go. I also stopped drinking entirely for 8 months, and now I barely drink ever. I wanted clarity. I wanted my mind to work at 110%, and trust me, it worked. Basically, whatever is stopping you or holding you back, take a look at it. And if it's not part of your why, then it shouldn't be in your day-to-day. This doesn't mean divorce your wife and never see your kids again, just to be clear, but just do more of what makes you happy and do more of what will push your business forward. A big example of this for me was when I used to get my house cleaned. I didn't want to spend 2 hours doing bathroom cleaning. That was vital time for me. I was earning good money at my job, so I took the time back and I paid someone to do it. Evaluating your time per hour for me is absolutely critical. If the value of your time is worth more than the person you'd pay to do it, pay the person to do it. Next up is tax. Whoa, yeah, super exciting, but trust me, you need to be on top of this. As your business grows, you're going to start taking an income, and you might even still be earning from your 9 to 5 alongside your business, but make sure you get a decent accountant and file your yearly accounts and tax filings that your business will incur. Once you're established enough and your business turns over a profit, you're going to need to do this. You're going to need to declare accounts to HMRC. I didn't do this at first, and then I ended up having to spend 2 days sorting through bank statements, card receipts, and scrambling to get my tax filed on time just before the deadline. A lesson learned for sure. So what happened to me? Well, I'm coming up to a year now full time on my business. Launching a business is so bloody cool, but it is a madness. business, it's completely worth it, in my opinion. I wouldn't trade it for the world, but you know, it does come, you know, I work in my own time. I take the dog out when I want. I go to the gym almost every day. I eat better. I am so much happier, but that's because I sacrificed and went the distance before with that why in mind. Now, I'm super excited to hear your thoughts on this video. And if you're looking for a cool business idea, then check out my next video, which is how I made 3.5 grand in 30 days selling digital products. Click on that image on your screens and I'll see you on the next one. See you over there.